Welcome to the business section of this course where I'll be showing you how to take all of your skills I've just taught you and turn them into a profitable business. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 6 steps to making money. These are the 6 steps I took to go from 0 to full time. This isn't the only route to take, but the one that's worked for me and has worked for hundreds of our students. And I promise that if you implement all of them, you will see great results as well. So let's dive in. Step number 1 is to invest in yourself. Unfortunately, filmmaking is a pretty expensive hobby. Camera gear isn't cheap, so there's going to be some level of financial investment involved in starting a professional video service. Not quite as much as you might think, but don't complain to me that you aren't landing clients if you're shooting with an iPhone. If you expect people to invest in you and your video services, you need to be willing to invest in yourself and first buy some professional camera gear. Though yes, it is possible to land clients with just shooting on a phone, I would recommend at least investing in a beginner DSLR kit, a stabilizer, and a decent computer for editing. We've already given you recommendations for buying all of that gear, but the point is, don't expect people to pay you big money if you're not willing to pay big money on nice gear yourself. Gear isn't everything, but it is something. Start with whatever you can afford, and as you start landing clients, upgrade your gear so that you can level up your production quality, which will in turn allow you to charge higher prices, assuming of course that the upgraded gear is helping you create higher quality videos. Also, investing in yourself doesn't just mean financially, it means investing in your education and your skill set as well. Be willing to find mentors, buy online courses, watch YouTube videos to continue educating yourself, and also be willing to invest time into developing your skills, which brings me to step number 2, and that is to master your skills. One of my favorite quotes is from Peter Voogd that says, "You get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. If you don't bring value, you don't make much money." In other words, if your skills don't add value to someone else, then no one's going to pay you for those skills. So the first step is to obtain the skills necessary to create professional looking videos that will be of benefit to others. And if you understand and apply the first 4 sections of this course, then your videos should be looking pretty dang sharp. And I've found that your work should speak for itself. If people aren't hiring you after you've done the rest of these steps, then it's probably because you skipped over this step too fast and never quite sharpened your skill set enough to stand out from the crowd of other filmmakers that are out there. And just FYI, simply watching this course won't automatically make you a great filmmaker. You have to actually go out and apply everything that you learn and continually practice for months and months until the principles I teach start to become second nature to you. And once you've mastered your skills, it's time to move on to step number 3, and that is to build a portfolio. After you've developed some filmmaking skills, you have to go out and start putting them to the test. There's 2 main problems that I see in young filmmakers. They either spend all their time learning and not enough time practicing and applying, or they spend all their time making content, but it's not very good content because they won't take the time to learn the principles to make it look better. So once you've invested in some education, building a portfolio means going out and creating content so that you have demo videos to show clients what your work looks like and what you are capable of. Most of the jobs I get hired for come from people watching one of my videos on YouTube. I've never spent a single advertising dollar to land a client. And as we'll talk about in a later step, most of my highest paying clients have come from videos that I shot for fun, for free, in my own time, without getting paid. So that shows you the power of just getting out, creating content, building a large portfolio of videos for future clients to see that they would want you to replicate for their businesses. And one of the questions I get asked most is, well, what should I go out and film? And my answer is twofold. Find a need in the marketplace and pick which one of those needs you'd enjoy filming the most. For example, in most places in the world, there's a need for wedding videos, real estate, commercials, music videos, action sports, and much more. So pick which one you'd enjoy filming most and start filming it, because whatever content you create is the type of content you will get hired for. If you start out filming weddings, then you're gonna get hired to film more weddings. If you start out filming real estate videos, then you will attract more real estate clients. Now, some filmmakers like to specialize in just one industry, like only shooting weddings or only doing real estate. I personally hate shooting the same type of video every week, so I choose to diversify my portfolio with a wide variety of videos, and that way I'm constantly getting hit up by different types of clients to film different types of videos. Personally, I also think this will make you a much better filmmaker if you learn how to shoot a lot of different styles of videos. But whether you want to focus on just one type of video or dabble in all of them, I can't stress enough how important it is to just get out and create content. If you don't have paying clients one week, don't sit on your butt waiting for someone to email you. Get out and create something. Go film something that you think would attract a client if they saw that video. And this will also in turn help you master your skills as you're out creating more and more. And don't just shoot 3 or 4 videos and then email me complaining that my 6 steps didn't work. You gotta put in time. You gotta create a lot of content. I'm talking weekly videos for months and months. If you've shot 20 or 30 videos and still aren't landing clients, then we can talk. But building a sizable portfolio takes time. But don't just pull out your camera and start shooting your tree or fence fence in your backyard, pre-plan a little, and then think about what content you can create that would actually attract a client. And make sure to watch my tips on growing a YouTube channel. I talk about how to create content that people care about. This will give you more insight on what you should film. I'm always thinking of and searching for things that are relevant, relatable, and or shareable, as that will ensure that my content actually gets seen. And when it comes to getting your work noticed, remember this: content is king, distribution is queen. First and foremost, you need to have content that people can relate to, that is relevant or trending, and or that is shareable. But second most important is, once you've created that content, you need to learn how to distribute it, which brings me to step number 4, and that is to market yourself. Marketing yourself is the distribution side. What do you do with your content once you've created it in order to get it seen by the most amount of people? Large companies will spend millions of dollars on distribution alone by buying ad space on television, YouTube, Facebook, and more. But for small businesses like you and me who don't have distribution money, we rely heavily on the free marketing platforms of social media. So let me share with you now some of my social media marketing strategies. We have separate videos in this business section that will walk you through how to most effectively distribute your content on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to optimize your chances of your content being seen. But in a nutshell, this is my process for distributing my content. First, I'll upload my video to YouTube, give it a catchy, relatable title and thumbnail. Next, I'll create a 1-minute version of that video, almost like a trailer, and upload that to both Facebook and Instagram. And I'll usually make it a square version with a catchy title on top and bottom. Then I'll write up an email explaining that I just released a new video and send it out to my email list or any contacts that you have, like previous or potential clients, so that everyone you know can see your latest work and remind them that you are still for hire and still creating awesome new content. This process of distribution can take a few hours if you do it well, but if you're going to be spending days, sometimes weeks, creating a piece of content, why wouldn't you put in some good time into distributing it well to make sure you optimize your chances that it actually gets seen? So make sure to take the time to effectively market yourself. And again, make sure to watch the rest of the videos on how to market effectively using YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more in-depth tips on using social media to market. But moving on to step number 5 is to build relationships. In business, it's more expensive to get a new customer than it is to retain the ones you already have. In other words, when you land a job, make sure to exceed expectations and deliver a stellar product so that they will continue to hire you for more jobs. But equally important to delivering a good product is building a good working relationship during the full process. In a business study that was done, the top 2 things that top income professionals accredit their wealth to were relationship skills and social capital, or who you know. You've heard the saying that it's not what you know, it's who you know, and this absolutely applies to filmmaking as well. You should constantly be looking to network with and add value to and build relationships with people who are more successful than you, more talented than you, and in higher places than you. Another saying that I love and I believe 100% is that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. If you hang around 5 alcoholics, you'll eventually become the 6th. If you hang around 5 idiots, you will eventually become the 6th. If you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll eventually become the 6th. I chose to surround myself with successful people and latch on to mentors and pay for courses from experts, and that's when my career really started to take off. YouTube was a great starting ground, but I never would have made it to where I am today had I not invested time and money into connecting to people that were on a higher level of success than me. And that's what this course, Full-Time Filmmaker, is all about, is giving you access to hundreds of other successful filmmakers so that you can build relationships, learn from mentors, and shorten your learning curve so you can stand out as an expert in a sea full of average filmmakers. And just a couple examples of some of our FTF members who have applied this principle of building relationships. One of our members networked his way to being a part of Will Smith's YouTube channel Film Crew. Another networked his way to shooting social media content for the MLB and being on the field to shoot big moments during the World Series. And I personally got hired to edit several videos for Imagine Dragons simply because I built a relationship with Dan Reynolds' assistant, who showed the band some of my edits, which led them to hiring me. So networking to the right people is a huge part of landing jobs, and make sure to utilize our private Facebook group to start networking and building relationships today. Also, as it applies to working with clients, good business is about the entire experience of working together, not just the end result. If you want a client to call you back for more jobs, be a pleasure to work with. Take feedback and criticism well. Meet all the deadlines. Be professional. People don't just want a good product, they also want a good working experience. So make sure to develop good relationship skills as well. One of the best ways to get work is simply by word of mouth. People talk, and if you give your client a good experience and product, then they'll refer you to other companies companies or other people that see their video and ask who it was done by. Next to my demo videos, I'd say that word of mouth is the second biggest way I land new gigs, so make sure to leave a good taste in everyone's mouth that you work with. And moving on to our sixth and final step, and that is to add value first or free to fee. One of the questions I get asked most is people asking how much they should charge for their services. This one is tricky because it's a case-by-case scenario. When someone asks me for a quote, I respond usually by asking these questions. How many days of shooting will it be? When do you want it done by? Where will you be posting the final video? And what is your budget? Asking those questions will help you decide how much to charge. I cover this question more in depth in its own video in this section, but when someone asks you what your budget is, remember that whoever quotes first loses. Make the client declare their budget first to help you know how much they are willing to spend. If they refuse to give you a number, then gauge how much time the project will take based on the other questions that you ask them and quote out the project based on what your time is worth. And again, we have a whole nother video in this section called the budget calculator that comes with a spreadsheet for helping you determine what your time is worth. Personally, I charge about $1,500 to $2,000 per day of shooting as a cinematographer. If the project is going to be valuable in building my portfolio, then I'm usually willing to work for less if my rate is out of the client's budget. But if the project doesn't add anything to my portfolio because I've already shot a ton of videos just like it, that's when I charge my full price. The best scenario is when I can get paid my full price and shoot something that adds value to my portfolio. And in an ideal world, those would be the only projects that you take. But sometimes you need money, so you have to shoot something boring or repetitive, or you need experience to build your portfolio, so you shoot for cheap. Now keep in mind, this is the process I use when clients approach me. However, when I'm approaching a client that I want to work with, an important principle that I've learned that allows you to build value and land clients is called free to fee. Add value first by shooting a video for a company for free, show them what you're capable of, and if they love your work, they'll pay you to do the next one. For example, when I first started my own production company, I needed to build a portfolio, so I told a local company, Cotopaxi, that I wanted to take their backpack around Southern Utah and make a free commercial for them. And of course, they said yes to the free video. And when I sent them the finished video, they were like, wow, this content is amazing. We'd love to hire you to go to Hawaii and do the exact same thing. And I said, awesome, that sounds great. I charge $5,000. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my work, especially starting out, is offering my services for free, adding value first so that people can see how much value you bring to their business, and then them wanting to hire you to make more videos. Now, realize that the company that you make the free content for isn't always the company that will end up hiring you. The bigger reason for doing free work is to build your portfolio so that you have something to show other similar clients what you're capable of. An example of this was a couple years ago. I shot an iPhone versus Red video on my own dime, in my own time, posted it on YouTube, and a year later, LG saw and asked if I'd make a similar video for their new LG V30 smartphone and gave me $40,000 budget to do so. Same thing happened a year later. I shot another video with my own money in Hawaii showing off the new iPhone XS Max that had just come out, and a couple months later, Huawei saw that video and asked if they could hire me for a campaign for their new P30 Pro that was coming out soon. So the way I've been able to attract a lot of big name clients is by creating my own content for free, putting it on social media, and having similar companies to the product that I was shooting for see those and pay me big budgets to do similar projects for their companies. So be willing to do free passion projects to build your portfolio, and be purposeful with what kind of content you shoot to attract the types of high paying clients that you're wanting to target. And I'll usually get a handful of you saying at this point, oh, you should never work for free because then they'll just expect you to work for free forever. But that, my friends, is the problem with most creative minds. Artists usually aren't the most business savvy people, but business skills can be learned. If you'll learn how to communicate, negotiate, to correctly set prices for your work without undervaluing your services or overvaluing them and losing your job, then you'll be able to make a good living making videos. And I'll go over all these skills to be learned in the rest of this business section, so make sure to apply these 6 steps and continue watching all the rest of the videos in this section, and I promise you will start seeing success in your business. There you have it, guys. Those are my 6 steps to making money. If you have any further questions, please let me know.